What is the scariest story you know that is 100% true? 1. I would call it creepy more than scary, but my mom's friend had a small house and lived alone. She noticed weird things, a batch of soup depleting faster than usual, missing eggs, damp towels in the hamper when she hadn't used any, extra dishes in the dishwasher, etc. This went on for months. She thought she was just being forgetful. One day she heard some thumping around in her attic and went to investigate. She found some makeshift living quarters. Small radio, hot plate, sleeping bag, pillow, food wrappers, etc. She called the cops, who came to keep an eye on the place. They caught a homeless man climbing a tree, trying to sneak into her attic window. He had been doing this almost daily. He would wait for her to go to work, then go downstairs and help himself to food and amenities. The funny part about this story is they got to know each other throughout the ordeal, and the guy was very respectful, just down on his luck. She didn't press charges. Instead, let him move in, helped him get a job, and he lived in the attic until he got back on his feet. Creepy poop with a happy ending. 2. My mom was driving, and a guy ran out in the road, so she stopped so she couldn't hit him. It was nighttime, so it was pretty dark out, and 3 other men emerged from the forest around her, all trying to use the door handles of her car to get in. She locked them, luckily, and gassed it to the nearest town. Remember always to lock your car after you start it, because if it wasn't unlocked, who knows what would have happened to her. 3. The 1904 Cincinnati Privy disaster. In 1904, 9 schoolgirls drowned in an outhouse after the floor collapsed. They drowned in human waste. 4. My friend's boss bought an Audi A4 convertible back when they were new and interesting. One of the talking points was the pop-up roll hoops that were hidden unless you rolled it. A few months after buying it he got to test those roll hoops out, as he lost control and skidded down a steep bank about 10 meters, 35 feet, deep. The roll hoops did their job, and he survived with just cuts and scratches from the bushes he'd plowed through. The car ended up the right way up and he got out, walked back up the bank to the side of the road, then got on the phone to the police to report the accident. While he was standing there a driver from a car that had seen the accident came over to speak to him. Approaching from behind the other driver asked if he was okay. My friend's boss turned around to reply and dropped dead. His neck had been fractured but was in one piece right up until he turned his head, when it severed his spinal cord. 5. Artemis Pyle, the drummer from Lynyrd Skynyrd, survived a plane crash and walked to a nearby house only to be shot by the homeowner. The homeowner saw a bloody, long-haired man and winged him. Pyle survived that as well and made a full recovery. 6. I worked for U-Haul when I was 18, and it was located opposite a club that was known for being sketchy. I came in to open one morning, and it was common for people to knock on the door, hoping to get in early and get their truck. On this day, I hear frantic knocking on the door. I'm there alone still so it kind of startled me. I look and there's a woman, completely naked, covered in what looks like blood. I called the cops, grabbed one of the moving blankets, and went outside to cover her up. She smelled really bad and was a mess. It ended up being blood and her own poop she was covered in. Found out later she was drugged at the club that night/early morning, roped, and left blacked out in the alley. It was just a fucked up and surreal situation to be involved in. 7. I was in a crappy motel. The room had bedbugs. I was too exhausted to go to the front desk. I just needed to make it by morning. I slept in the tub. Hours later, I heard someone breaking through the window. I had a big knife with me and ran out into the room to find a man halfway through my window. We stared for a while at each other in shock.